Morning, everybody, and it is a Monday. It's July the 6th, and I'm going to do a little day in the life of my job at Grants Pass Downs. Very excited to go to the track for our final week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday this week, but wrapping up my first season here at Grants Pass Downs, but I got a lot of stuff I got to do before then, including my regular job. So here's my little studio I set up for our TV show and to do my podcast, and we got to do the podcast this morning. I'm having Nicole Newlist interviewing her about breeding for Thursday's show. All right, back here on the Jason Beem Horse Racing Podcast, and pleased to welcome in our next guest, who's a writer, handicapper, chart caller, and aficionado of all things Chicago racing. Very excited to welcome back to the show Nicole Newlist. Nicole, how are you? Give you guys a quick tour of the podcast studio here. Got my MacBook, which I bought this year, and I love it. It's just been fantastic. It generates my workflow a lot faster, which is great. I do all the podcast stuff on GarageBand. In fact, here's the file for the weekend recap show right now, which is just me talking, but then this is basically what the race replays look like. There's me talking again, race replay, etc. When I start the show, I have to have my little intro song and music, so that's this file here. Turn that up. Forges to a narrow advantage. Maximum security has been defeated. So then this little yellow line, that's the volume meter, so you kind of start slowing the music down as then I come in.
Good Tuesday morning to you all. Welcome into the Jason Beem Horse Racing Podcast, brought to you by Twin Spires. Happy to be with you here on...
Now, normally if I was doing like a voiceover or something, like those spaces, those are pauses or gaps in breaths or whatever. I would take those out like if you're doing a voiceover thing, but luckily with the podcast, it's kind of a stream of consciousness. But I got my Shure SM7B microphone, which I bought in February. I bought a lot of this stuff to improve the sound of the podcast, like during the middle of the pandemic, which maybe wasn't that smart. A little sound mixer there, which, yeah, for the Shure SM7B, it's a mic that doesn't have a lot of power, so you have to add this little cloud lifter, which gives you a boost so to make the sound levels appropriate. Got some camera gear, my tripod for my binoculars, but got to do some more work here. We're going to do an interview, and then we'll get ready for a day at the races. So one thing I always like to do the morning of a race day is spend about 20 minutes just kind of going over my program. I still do the coloring on the program every day. I color the saddle towels on the left side and the silks on the right side. I've seen other guys who just will do the silks right in the middle because, you know, the saddle towels we all kind of know, obviously, and they're kind of the second or third thing you're looking for. Generally for me, I'm looking at silks first, caps second, and saddle towels third, because if they're lined up 3 or 4 across the track, especially at a bigger track like Colonial Downs where I work in Virginia, it's a 1.25 mile track, so when they're on the turn, they're so far away, it's just a little tougher to see those the saddle towels if they're all kind of lined up, especially if it's a small horse that's on the outside. That's when you're really in trouble. And also it depends on how high you are up you are in the booth. At Gulfstream Park West, where I've called, you're only like 20 feet up, and so if they're stacked across track, you just flat out can't see the horse on the outside, whereas Colonial, which is a lot higher, you at least have a little bit of a downward perspective, so you can kind of see the top part of that saddle towel. But you know, when you start a new meet, especially at a new circuit that you haven't been at in a while, like I've been at Grants Pass, there's a couple horses still that are running here from when I was at Portland, but you know, I don't know a lot of the names. I know some of the silks and not so much, but those first few weeks at a new circuit, I like to spend a good chunk of time after coloring just looking at the silks, associating them with the name. Obviously for the 2-year-old races, you don't know any of those horses yet, so you just want to make sure by the time they come onto the track, it's going to only take you 20-30 seconds to really jam them into your brain and memorize them. So getting ready to head out. Got to run a couple errands. We got to go to FedEx first and print programs for tomorrow's and Wednesday's races. Then we got to go to Cartwright's and get some beef jerky. But first, lunch, a little steak sandwich action. All right, well, next stop, FedEx. We're all printed and ready to go, and it's about a half-hour drive from Medford here up to Grants Pass. So it's a beautiful drive, though. Let's do it. So there's Grants Pass Downs, and conveniently right across the street is the best meat market slash deli around, the Cartwrights. They make amazing beef jerky. I always get some to snack on during the race day. All right, well, we've arrived at Grants Pass Downs. Gonna walk in and time to start the big hike up the stairs, which is my least favorite part. Tilt board, finish line, home stretch, grandstand. I'm way up there where that little window's open. And here's the under area. Oh, the bedding area. My man Chris here selling his saddle towel colored face masks. I actually want to get another one.
Yeah.
Because kind of the main under area. Here's the bar and t-shirt sales. It's my man Tag, working hard as always. Here's the Grants Pass Downs mission, vision, and our values. Commitment to safety, integrity, diversity, exceptional service, teamwork, and innovation. Now my least favorite part of the day. The only thing I don't like about calling it Grants Pass Downs, the hike. All right. Now we open this. Then we go up into the dark. Dun, dun, dun. All right, and we're here. Now we catch our breath for the next 15 minutes, get set up and go. All right, so I got all my fans going now that I got upstairs. I got to set up, so I put my little tripod here and extend it out to its maximum capabilities. Unfortunately, and it's not a big deal, my tripod has the glasses right here, so I've set up a little stack of old CDs at my feet. I can't stand up and call here because the banisters and or whatever they call them, the beams, are actually in my way. If I stand up, I'm here, and I can only see wood. So it's a sit-down booth, so which is fine. I actually prefer that. It's sometimes it's just easier to keep your full air and everything if you're not having to rely on your stomach muscles to hold you up so much, I guess. Got my trusty binoculars. I've had these since 2007. I dropped them off the roof at Gulfstream West last year, but the nice people at Swarovski put new coatings on them and new mirrors in the inside, new dial, and new everything for like $70. It was awesome. So, but I love these things. I can't speak highly enough for the clarity and the light that Swarovskis bring in. They're just fantastic. And so I got my little thing here, and I loosen it, tie my binoculars onto it. I actually switched to a new tripod system this year. My other one I had since 2007, and it was starting to break, and it suffered a fatal injury in that same fall at Gulfstream Park West. But now I got that, and so I can just maneuver them however I see fit, but they also hold real steady because I have pretty nervous hands. So during the race, I just kind of go like this, and on the fire turn, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. One nice thing they got for me here is a wireless headset. So I clip my mic onto my ear, and I can go announce any kind of announcement from anywhere in the facility, really. I've done it from all the way down by the paddock. If I got to go use the restroom or something after a race, this way I always got my My mic ready to go? Alright, Lizetta, Glam Squad, Brianna Jean, Saint Somewhere, Astounding Abby. So I'm not only the track announcer here at Grants Pass Downs, but I'm also the track trumpeter. Horses coming onto the track post-spurting for today's second race, a beaten claiming event for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. They'll be at 5 furlongs. No scratches or jockey changes. Number 6, Portray Your Vision, races with no blinkers and raced with no blinkers in their last start. Post time for today's second race coming up in 7 minutes. 7 minutes at post time. She Zooms is actually still in behind. She Zooms 8 to 5, 9 to 5 on Roche Begage. And look at that caveman go, goes in. They're in the gate. And the race is on. Good start for ER Cartel toward the outside. Sneakin' TR was away in good order, and Eyebrow Pride right there in the early mix as well. But it's ER Cartel on the outside who has a narrow advantage. Here's Eyebrow Pride coming in between horses. Sneakin' TR late on the scene. She zooms down toward the inside, but Eyebrow Pride is holding them all off. Eyebrow Pride looked to have got it. There's about 5 horses across the track for second, but it looked like Eyebrow Pride got it. So just get ready for the finale. This is always my favorite time of night. Like 3 or 4 minutes before the last race. It's quiet, sun's going down. I used to love this at Portland Meadows. It'd be like 4:30 in the afternoon. It'd be almost dark, raining. 2 guys out front talking about the race. But enjoy this last race, and then we'll call it a day. And our race is on. Good start for Clinton from the outside of the speed. Saint Somewhere down toward the inside. Lizetta coming through. Also Glam Squad right there. Waiting for room down toward the inside. Trying to come back. Lizetta coming down. Final 16 to go. Clinton is tired. Brianna Jean takes over down the outside. Portray Your Vision. Here's a driving photo finish. Brianna Jean or Portray Your Vision. Lizetta and the photo with Clinton for the winners. Into the winner's circle goes Understated Beauty. Mike Nyland, the winning owner. John Harris, the winning trainer. And that's 3 winners on the card for Cassie Guglielmino. Victorious here with Understated Beauty in today's 9th and final. That does close out live racing here today at Grants Pass Downs. We thank you for joining us on this special Monday of racing. Again, congratulations to the connections of Louisiana Bunny, the winner of the Firecracker for Charity this year. Everyone drive home safely. Live racing returns at 4 p.m. tomorrow. A 10-race card for tomorrow and Wednesday as we close out our summer season here at Grants Pass Downs. Good night, everyone. Well, that does it for a day of racing at Grants Pass Downs. Hit that subscribe button if you'd be so kind, and we'll see you back for another video soon. Good night, everyone.